Detective Comics number 12, written and art by Tony S. Daniel. Last issue we left off with the whole reveal of Hugh Martyr is Mr. Toxic, or at least he's clones of him, and then Batman got attacked by some goop. This issue, Batman's still being attacked by the goop, and he does a whole thing where he okay, here's the thing. I say it's goop, it's drawn to look like goop, but they keep on saying that it's like something you breathe, so maybe it's gaseous. I'm not sure. But regardless, he very quickly reasons out, like, okay, I need to set this thing on fire in order to stop it. So he sets it on fire. And then Alfred walks in like, hey man, everything cool? And he explains out that the antidote soaked up the chemicals like a sponge. Which, if that's the antidote, I'm a bit confused. But regardless, Batman then reveals, like, yeah, no, setting on fire was kind of just a last ditch. I was about to die there. Anyway, back to business. So we go back to Dunhill Laboratories, where all those, like, people were killed or whatever. And some dude shows up, an inspector, talking to the professor that Batman talked to last issue. And it's basically saying, like, hey, we've got your back, now you got ours, okay? And he's like, yes, thank you for my help. Or, thank you for your help, I'll do whatever. And then, all at once, Mr. Toxic shows up and tells him, like, hey, I'm here for you. You're the only one who can help save me. So, come on. And, he objects, but they take him anyway. So then we get Batman, who they've fixed the thumb drive that other professor gave him, and we just get the full explanation. Like, on 2 pages, it's just the whole thing of Hugh Martyr had some sort of illness, and it was driving him to insanity, and so he thought, hey, I'll throw myself into a particle accelerator. That'll fix me. But it didn't. And so he made some clones and stuff that he was able to test on, but they were all short-lived, and the professor was basically just trying to help him, but of course he was asking for more and more ridiculous things that could, like, hurt people, including himself. So, yeah, really it doesn't do anything else, but it just says here, his body absorbed the radiation and is living off of it. It's only a matter of time before he becomes a walking atomic bomb. So that's his threat. Honestly, I didn't feel like it was that clear beforehand, but regardless, he's an atomic bomb and he has a bunch of clones. Cloning is not in his power set, though. That's just being a scientist. So, Batman's driving around town trying to find him. Meanwhile, we see that, the big reveal of, the clone that was picked up from the coroner's office is really, really deteriorating now, but he was also the original, and the person in the Mr. Toxic suit was actually a clone, but like a really good one. So sure. Anyway, Alfred finally gets a hit on some extremely high power surges, so Batman parks the Batmobile, gets out, and then turns on a jetpack and starts flying to the laboratory where it is. So they're about to start up the experiment. The professor's like, I shouldn't do it. This isn't right. And he's like, do it, Professor. You have no choice. And then Batman busts in saying, don't do it, Professor. But the professor already did it. So something happens where it looks like they're merging together into one disgusting blob thing. And he's like, it's just like I saw in the Batcave. So then Batman comes up and he realizes Hugh is inside or has been turned into this weird genetic abomination. And he was like, help me, Batman, please. So then Batman fires off a batarang or something that has the antidote in it, of which he's able to free Hugh from the inside of this big blob of goop. And he explains it. It neutralizes the whatever. It's just magic, and then he's safe. So he puts Hugh back into his, like, containment suit, and he's like, Batman, what did you do? He's like, something I hope I won't regret. I saved your life. As he drags Hugh away. That's it. That's the issue. Remember when this arc opened up with a bunch of Batman, like, imposters, and they were all just, like, being vaporized into goop? And then we got into cloning and particle accelerators and atomic energy. This was a very confusing arc, in general. There was a lot of spinning plates, and I can't help but feel like a few got dropped. It was interesting that they brought back Hugh Martyr, who I believe was in like issue 1 or 2. So good on them for going that far back. But I really don't feel like they had a thing going on here yet. They barely set him up, and then all of a sudden they were like, no, he was actually crazy and driven mad with the promise of a cure. Like, that's fine, I guess. That's if you want to go that route. But it just seemed like it wasn't set up in any way whatsoever. So yeah, overall, I give this particular issue probably what I would give the arc is no. I give this issue a 6, but I think I'd give the arc like a 5. Like, I'm not entirely sure what was like. What did we even? What was Batman doing during this? Like, I feel like the end result here that was getting across was Batman was like, oh, maybe I don't have to save everyone, but then he realizes that he does. But in the same vein, what? Like, why was he talking about regretting saving Hugh? I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. It was just a silly little story. So, 6.